World War, more or less 80 years ago, is at risk. So we are changing that order, less multilateralism and much more unilateralism. And the third point is also that the tariff policies by the US administration are used as a sort of threat to achieve political results. So, but let me focus on the Persian Gulf. The first thing I like to mention is that this is a negative supply shock. It's not a demand-driven shock. It's a supply shock which affected the global economy through the energy markets and the global trade flows. But a positive piece of news, the global economy is very resilient, much more resilient than we could expect at the beginning of this world. And so in our baseline scenario, which means, which assume the hypothesis that the flows through the Strait of Hormuz can start to can restart quite soon, so in July, no more than that. We do not foresee a recession, a global recession. But if instead we have, so this is why we talked about the scenarios, plural. If instead the closure of the strait can carry on through the year end, at that point we can have asymmetric effect with some recessionary risks in some countries. As I said, the shock propagates primarily through the energy markets and the supply chain. As this is a well-known figure, 20% of flows of global maritime oil and natural gas cross the Strait of Hormuz. So we have a supply shock with higher input costs, which has an impact on the inflation rate all over the world, but especially in Europe, and as a consequence, global trade friction, and as a consequence, a reduction in consumption and in investment. So here we have the macroeconomic forecast for this year and next year. It's not a big, it's not a dramatic, so we have a slowdown, but not a recession. Global growth is around 3%, United States 2.3%, the Eurozone 0.7%, Italy, Germany, and France 0.5%. China continues to grow, and India grows at very high rates. Another point I like to mention is that this crisis, we had two energy crises. The first one when Russia invaded the Ukraine, and that was especially a natural gas crisis. Look at the chart on your right. The price of TTF reached was above 300 euros per megawatt hour. Now is around 45 with a recent peak at 62. So this impact is very smaller than in 2022. So now is more a how can I say, a oil price energy crisis than the natural gas. What is the impact? Is that we Europeans we are much more dependent on natural gas than on oil, so the impact is a little bit more limited than it was in 2021-22. It's important also saying that we are observing some disruption, not enormous disruption, but some strains in the supply chain, looking at the shipping costs, the new bottlenecks, and so on. So this is another reason for a reshuffle in the international trade in already ongoing and much more foreseeable in the future. Higher inflation implies a new monetary policy, a new cycle of a new series of rate hikes by our central banks. The first is expected the day after tomorrow, the 11th of June, 25 basis points, and later on at least another hike in September or by the end of the year. And then we'll see what's going on regarding the Persian Gulf. What is the, this is a survey made with our colleagues of Banca dei Territori. The first point is that they have a plurality of risk to handle. Energy crisis, macroeconomic volatility, and so on. So the trend is that of trying to react to this crisis more and more, trying to strengthen the propensity to invest, in which direction, through sustainability and technology. These are the first topics as a result, as an evidence of our survey. And the strong point is that of diversifying both destination markets and providers, suppliers more and more, trying to strengthen the relationship with the friend countries and reducing the geopolitical risk. These firms, Italian firms, are running every day. Here we have a table showing the main opportunity regarding the prospect of exports, FDI, and so on, looking at the different markets. Bottom line, we do not have so much time to describe everything here, but the bottom line is that firms are increasingly looking at these countries, India especially, Eastern Europe, which is much more important for a bank, very strong in Southeastern Europe, Central and Southeastern Europe countries. So, and North America is which is Canada, for example, is replacing the role of the US. 4 minutes for a focus on, but I can carry on up to midnight if you wish, but the countdown is saying 4 minutes, so don't be...
The control tower, to check.
The tower.
If you can land.
Okay, so there are a lot of planes which has to land. The prospects of the GDP prospects are positive, and it's clear that 2026 is quite an uncertain year. But anyway, if you look at the medium-term outlook, is positive, both for Central and Eastern European countries, Czech Republic, Hungary, Poland, Slovakia, Slovenia, and so on, but also for the Southeastern European countries. And probably after this crisis, we can have better figures in the future. The trade with Italy is stronger and stronger. You see here the increase of Italian exports towards these two geographical areas. So in terms of exports, we moved from 48 billion to 66 billion from 2019 to 2025 last year, and more or less a similar increase regarding imports. And Italy enjoy a trade surplus with the two areas. We do not have time to go into details as far as. A look at the a sectoral breakdown. The specialization reinforces this structural friendship, interrelation, geopolitical interrelation. Italy exports primarily machinery, transport equipment, food, and fashion, while imports is again transport equipment, food, and other sector, partially due to the offshore activity in these countries of the Italian companies. So industrial integration is quite strong. It is strong not only as far as trade is concerned, but also looking at FDI, foreign direct investment, outward and inwards. Currently, there are about 3,600 companies owned by Italian companies in the two regions I'm talking about, and these companies employ about 300,000 and 400 blah 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 employees. It's always difficult to mention, to be very precise with figures, and with more than 50% in the manufacturing sectors. So to conclude in 50 seconds, I have my countdown here, three messages. First, the global environment is changing, and I don't think that this change is just temporary. It's more and more structural. So we have to strengthen relationship, in this case, Italy with South and Central Eastern European countries. So fragmentation, more fragmentation, and persistent shock. Second, the current phase is not about to going into recession. Is not a collapse of the economy. There is a stronger resilience. It's true, lower growth, higher interest rates, and probably tighter financial conditions, but is a manageable crisis. This is a strong point. Third, the vast majority of firms in Italy and in Europe is not passive. They are reacting strongly, taking the right moves towards a diversification of destination market, increasing technologies, investing in AI, and so on. So the big challenge for Europe and Italy is leveraging the current industrial strengths, deepen integration with very dynamic regions as the countries where you work, and supporting, this is the transformation, supporting investment, supporting digitization, supporting green, renewable, green transformation, and so on. So I believe that this structural shift in our economies will be a big challenge, but we can achieve big results. Thank you.
Thank you, Gregorio De Felice. I think we all appreciated your crystal clear presentation, but I would like you to jump from a macro perspective to the single reality of the countries where this company come from. And my question is, what can you tell about the commercial relationship between Banca Intesa and between Italy, Banca Intesa, and the 11 countries where your bank is present?
Okay, these 11 countries are the countries of where the banks of the International Bank Division operates. And so this is one more reason to strengthen relationship, to get the best example, the best performers from these countries, bringing it to Italy, and vice versa, from Italy to these countries, and so on. But I strongly believe that Paola, if she arrives, I don't know.
She will, definitely she will.
Okay. Are you ready to bet?
I'm ready.
Okay, one coffee. If she arrives, I believe she will explain much more the integration, which is already strong, but can be stronger and stronger.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Gregorio De Felice, for your remarks. And now it's time to know better the reality of these 10 companies. But before calling the chief, the founders, the CEO of the single company, I would like to introduce you Marta Testi, Chief Executive Officer of Elite Euronext Group. Nice to meet you. So what do you think about this project? I know that you believe in this project. I've been told.
Absolutely. So first of all, thank you very much for inviting me. I'm really proud to be here. I also was here in February when we launched the first stop of the Italian roadshow, and so it's a good way to close the circle. I'm a sponsor and a supporter because speaking with friends in Intesa Sanpaolo and Banca dei Territori, we realize and we agree on the fact that high-growing companies need to be visible. And this is also something that is part of my day-by-day job with my team and my colleagues, because sometimes we have jewels around our territories that are not already known, and this is also the reason why Imprese Vincenti is scouting them in the different regions in Italy and countries in outside of Italy in order to make them visible and to give to them a support in order to reach their ambition. The link with Elite and the Euronext Group is quite strong because Elite is a community and an ecosystem that support companies to grow. And grow means clearly finance, because we are in a banking environment, but means also having new skills, new relationships, and new opportunity in order to make this growth that they are dreaming something that can become reality. And so when we discussed 6 years ago about if Elite could join this initiative as a partner, we decided absolutely yes. And when this program was extended also to International Bank Division, this was also linked to our European footprint because we are part of a European group, Euronext, and we think that together banks, infrastructure like us, and companies can make the difference. And so you are right, and so I'm a strong believer of this initiative, and Imprese Vincenti is a real way to give visibility and support to these companies that are small but are growing, and so we need absolutely to support them in any moment and in any occasion.
Thanks very much.
Please
take your seat, because I know that you will help me in making questions at the end of each single round. So it's time to meet our entrepreneurs. It's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Giancarlo Guidi, founder of AgroItaly. Prego, si accomodi. So AgroItaly, it's a Serbian-based company focused on agriculture and food. Here you see all the characteristics of this company, why it has been chosen by Intesa Sanpaolo for this award. The second company is Aircash, coming from Croatia. Jose Rant, Chief Financial Officer. I'm very happy to have you here. So Aircash is a fintech company focused on digital payments in Croatia, but I know that you operate in 10 European countries. You have 200 employees. The third company is Catone Group. Carlo Catone is the general manager. So you see why this company has been chosen by Banca Intesa. It's a logistic company, the Hungarian subsidiary of Catone Group. They deal with trucks, refrigerated fleets, and warehouses. Diopta from Serbia, Milan Starcevic, who is the owner of this company. Diopta is an optical retail chain with shops in Serbia, Montenegro, Bosnia-Herzegovina, if I'm not wrong, 3 in Italy? 10 in Italy. And it serves hundreds of thousands of clients. Last but not least, we have Incom from Serbia. Slovenia, sorry. Please. Bostian Jeroncic, my Slovenian is not so good as it was in the past, okay? Okay, thank you. So, it's time to start your single reality. Signor Giancarlo Guidi, allora, la sua azienda, come abbiamo detto, è basata si occupa di agricoltura e di cibo. Se non ricordo male, voi avete 706 ettari di nocciole, ok?
Certo.
Noccioleti, come si chiama? Me lo dica?
Di nocciole.
Di nocciole, hazelnut trees, e siete anche dei fornitori di Ferrero.
Sì.
Se non è sbagliato. Allora io le chiedo, quanto sfidante è cercare di combinare le tradizioni dell'agricoltura serba con la necessità di esportare nell'Unione Europea e soprattutto di far fronte alla legislazione europea riguardo il cibo. So how challenging, my question is, to combine Serbia agricultural traditions with the need to export internationally in the European Union, in the single market, where we have common food laws, food standards.
Beh, ora noi...
Mi ripeta, parla italiano?
Sì,
ok, perfetto.
Parlo in italiano solo.
Parla in italiano.
Ora, noi siamo sbarcati in Serbia nel 2004. In Serbia abbiamo trovato nella regione della Vojvodina quello che abbiamo sempre cercato i nostri obiettivi. I nostri obiettivi di azienda sono la quantità del terreno che abbiamo a disposizione, qualità del terreno e acqua che sia disponibile. Noi abbiamo trovato in quella zona lì, nella zona della Vojvodina, l'ideale del futuro, secondo noi, delle grandi estensioni.
Let me translate. They moved in Serbia. They started the company in 2004 in the region of Vojvodina, and they were looking for soil, for water, and especially they were focused on soil quality. Prego.
Poi abbiamo deciso insieme, siamo stati accompagnati in questa avventura dalla ditta della Ferrero Italia, che anche loro hanno fatto un grosso investimento insieme a noi e abbiamo aderito al loro progetto. Stando agli standard che hanno loro di regolamentazione, sono standard eccezionalmente ferrei, quindi ci siamo adeguati al sistema per poter esportare in Europa senza nessun problema.
This company has a joint investment project with Ferrero. You know, Ferrero is the producer of the famous Nutella, and so they have to adapt to the strong standards of that company.
Perché gli standard che noi ci siamo trovati a dover affrontare sono gli standard più o meno europei, ma molto ancora più ferrei. Quindi ci siamo adeguati un po' al loro sistema e abbiamo capito che in queste terre, con queste dimensioni, abbiamo futuro. Noi lì siamo arrivati oggi a 800 ettari di terreno. Abbiamo 2 aziende noi in Serbia, uno di 800 che è vicino alla Romania, vicino a Kikinda. Abbiamo un'altra azienda di 800 che è vicino a Novi Sad.
Again, the standards that they were carried with Ferrero are very strong, stronger than other companies, and they found, he said, they found the future in Serbia. I think we had the pictures also of the fields, and Mr. Guidi told that they have 2 companies in Serbia, one close to the border of Romania. No.
Prego.
Uno è vicino al confine con?
Uno è vicino al confine, vicino a Kikinda, vicino al confine della Romania.
Okay,
questa che stiamo vedendo adesso.
Ok, so one company is at the border with Romania.
L'altra è a 100 km più a sud, è vicino a Novi Sad. Ora abbiamo fatto questa azienda qui, la stiamo completando perché lì abbiamo il vantaggio dell'acqua corrente dal fiume Tisa, abbiamo acqua dolce acqua dolce di fiume, non è acqua sotterranea, perché l'acqua sotterranea ha dei grossi problemi, e stanno arrivando col canale anche nell'altra azienda che abbiamo vicino Novi Sad, anche lì procediamo a arrivare a fare tutti i noccioli. Praticamente verrà la più grossa azienda, secondo me, irrigata d'Europa, a modo di vedere.
Okay, you said that the second company is in 100 kilometers south of Serbia, is that correct? And close to Novi Sad?
Sì.
Is that correct? Okay. And where there is, I mean, there's a good water over there,
Sì.
and you are confident that this will be the biggest field for the production of hazelnuts. Is that correct? La devo fermare perché we are running out of time. Okay. So thank you so much, Mr. Guidi. So now we switch from hazelnuts to the fintech, credit cards, and application with Mr. Jose Rant, Chief Financial Officer of AR Cash. So your business is moving money through apps, you know, and stuff like this, but we know that the ECB and the European Commission as well is pushing to have a European sovereign system of payments. So are you preparing for this?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
Yeah,
So you have
absolutely.
3 minutes.
Yes, of course. So we are prepared, definitely. So Aircash is a very innovative company. So we are really closely observing what's going on, especially on the legal and the regulatory framework here in European Union. And if I'm not mistaken, just a couple of weeks ago, the European Parliament adopted or reached an agreement about a pilot project for a digital euro. To be in the pilot project starting next year, and the first issue is in 2029. So this development we see as a clear role model for something that can be very successful. So from our perspective, we are not only observing from the business perspective, but also from the robust regulatory framework. And we saw a similar use case with SEPA Instant initiative, where all of the participants on the financial market work together. So it's not only the traditional banks, but also fintechs and PSPs. We all have a certain share and we participate as equal partners. When it comes to this digital euro, let me focus on that. I would say the following. There are still certain elements to be solved. So the first one is the access to this system. So similar to the SEPA Instant, we strongly believe that the best approach is that everybody on the market gets access. It is not only
So open access.
Absolutely,
Open
open access, and then the fintechs like our very innovative fintechs can bring added value. So the second question is the front end. So how will this look like from the perspective of the customer? And here, of course, the fintechs can bring added value because we are innovative. We have the only constant in our business is innovation and change. And so we can
Uncertainty.
uncertainty and start into this. And the third obstacle that we see has to be solved is cost. So the European Central Bank says that this should be free of charge for the customer. However, we know that all of these things cost. So it's onboarding.
So you have to pay for this service.
You have to pay for the service. Here, I don't think that a solution has been given. However, we expect that the solution will be such that everyone on the market will be able to participate and also make some money. Yeah? And at the end of the day, we have to focus on the customer. So what customer wants, we have to address the needs and also bring solutions to what the customer wants. So at the end of the day, for Aircash, we expect this as a success story, so we believe into it and believe also in partnership. So our super app brings together more participants. So it's a mobile wallet, we bring card acquirers, we have a prepaid voucher, we have a tremendous network of distribution outlets where you can top up the wallet with cash, and we see digital euro as just one part of these use cases.
Thanks very much, Jose Rant, Chief Financial Officer of Aircash. So, we have switched from hazelnut to fintech, and we go to wheels. wheels and refrigerators, because Catone Group, it's a logistic company, as I said, which is the Hungarian subsidiary of Catone Group. It deals with the trucks, refrigerated fleets, and also with warehouses. So let's talk about energy cost, which are a major concern for companies like yours, which is operating refrigerated warehouses. How do you manage these challenges, the challenges of energy costs?
Yes, the energy cost for Catone Group is our second biggest cost after personnel cost. And for Catone Group, energy means two things. Energy to run our cold warehouses and energy to run our trucks. The compressor of our cold warehouses run all day and all night, and to guarantee the correct standard temperature. We invest so much in photovoltaic panels, and thanks to CIB Bank to support in this investment in Catone KFT. And we invest in automation because it's so difficult to find people that want to work at minus 30 degrees. Catone Group is very exposed to energy market variation, and for that for our business it's so important to relate our fee to energy variation, because you know that our sector it's only a ring of all food chain, and the main effect is on the final product price. You need to know that for Eurofrigo, the subsidiary of Catone Group, in 1 year with the Russian war, the energy cost passed from 4 million to 12 million in 1 year. So that's all. And
we can switch.
Yes.
We can switch. Thanks very much. Carlo Catone, General Manager of Catone Group, and we talk now with Milan Starcevic, who is the owner of the Opta, which is an optical retail chain with shops, as I told, in Serbia, Montenegro, Bosnia, Herzegovina. So you operate so many stores in all these countries, and the question is, how do you adapt your business to different markets? Or maybe the question could be, what do these markets have in common that allows you to operate successfully in this region?
I would say, first of all, we are part of a bigger group. We are also manufacturer and distributor for many optical products, and we are present in 8 countries. So the stores are one part of the business. We have around 55 stores now. The last acquisition was done in Italy of some small optical chain. I would say that first of all, we know our business. I founded a company 34 years ago, and I think I'm quite an expert in this. So I think that every market has the same need. You need the spectacles, and I know how to do it. And for us, in this challenging time, as I'm coming from Serbia, I think we know very much about resistance, about flexibility, about adapting to different conditions of the market, of the geopolitics. As you know, we had different wars, embargo, we had bombing of Serbia, we have so many things which we passed, inflation of 60,000% per year. And I think that through these years we learned a lot how to be flexible and how to adapt to very challenging conditions. Today we are in the same conditions. I think for difference now we are all together. This geopolitical situation is a big challenge, and I think my business and business of the companies is to be flexible, to adapt our recipe to the challenging times, and to move. Means to invest, not to pull everything and to wait. We don't have to wait, we have to invest. This is the game. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. The bankers doesn't like to hear lose, but
depends on the adversary, the enemy.
So it is sometimes some markets are going better, the others are has some flexion, but altogether it's important that the steps together are globally, that they are right and that you are moving in the right direction. So this is, I think, my recipe, and I think recipe of all successful companies. Find a new way to do in new times.
Thanks very much, Milan Starcevic, owner of the Opta. Now it's time to make question to Bojan Jeroncic. Is that correct? You have my favorite companies because you produce ice cream and chocolate. So
Also mine.
also yours. Great. So let me give you some figures. Incom is the largest producer of ice cream and chocolate in Slovenia, with more than 1,000 employees and a turnover of 257 million euro. So I read on a newspaper that you started your business in a garage in 1989, much like Steve Jobs. And today you export ice cream and chocolate in more than 40 countries worldwide. So what was the key turning point that transformed the young company? Can you remember?
Yeah, the first thing was that we have very, very courage people, together with courage owner, who is from the first day, has the very, very clear aim where to go. And because of that, it's much easier for us. I came into 2006. When we started the debate, we were still small. We started at 5.5 million at that time. And I came in a company on his idea, to become his right and left, and I don't know which hand, but I was a lawyer, and I took over immediately.
You work for the ministry.
For the Ministry of Finance, yeah. Proper another business, and I went, to sell ice cream.
Have you been a politician or not?
No, politician, no. I worked as a lawyer there, but I didn't know anything about ice cream. I didn't know anything about, margin on the sales. But,
you learn by doing.
People are learning fast, and we started. At that time, we were at, as I said, 5.5 million. And I said, in 10 years, Andrei, without idea how to do it, I said, we will be 10 times bigger. He said, you are crazy. In 2016, we made 55 million of turnover. And of course, because we said it's too boring only to make ice cream, we went from ice cream to chocolate. Because also of the seasonality, because, ice cream is still, we are consuming ice cream 3-4 months in a year. After first rain in August, the season goes down, and then we said, okay, we will make also chocolate because it will be easier, to
It's a winter product.
Year. Sorry?
It's a winter product, chocolate.
Yeah. And but now we see, that both things are more stable, so they are working whole year, because we are also doing quite a lot of business in United States, which take quite a lot of ice cream also in winter time. Then we turn around the season in Australia and New Zealand and so on. But on the other side, we are known as one of the most innovative companies in ice cream area, because we are producing 99.5% for market chains. Still, our brand, which is Leone, is around 6%. All other are private label. Private label means that we are producing for the biggest market chains all over the Europe and the world, and also for some multinationals. And with this innovative approach, we can be interesting for them. For example, there is an interesting, example in Germany when Lidl makes the biggest company in Europe for making ice cream, their own company. We were very small in Lidl, but we said we will not go with simple products like cones because they will make them themselves. We went inside with very special products like licensed products, Peppa Pig, Paw Patrol, and so on, and very, very innovative products. And we are growing with Lidl very fast. Nevertheless, they have their own company. So if you have open eyes, you can do very good things in very positive way. And we are here now.
But apart from chocolate and ice cream, and the real surprise is that you have Italian relatives and you speak Italian.
Yeah, I have the relatives from Udine, so because of that, it was easier to adopt on ice cream, because the first export which our owner made to Italy, They ask him, no, you are wrong. You are importing ice cream from Italy. No, I will export ice cream to Italy. So it was
Quite challenging, quite challenging. Thank you so much, Bojan Jerenkovic. So we have a second round, but we are asking a great effort to our friends because they have only 1 minute to answer. Soltanto 1 minuto per rispondere alla domanda, quindi deve essere molto un minuto, molto veloce. Allora, Giancarlo Guidi, Agro Italy, lei, la sua attività non è solo nel settore agricolo ma anche nelle energie sostenibili. Che difficoltà ci sono in questo momento? Which are the difficulties in this moment concerning renewable energies?
Oggi in Serbia devo dire che non sono ancora pronti. Noi abbiamo abbastanza esperienza in Italia perché abbiamo raggiunto i 50 megawatt installati di fotovoltaico, abbiamo fatto noi l'autoconsumo sugli impianti di irrigazione, però devo dire che ancora non sono pronti per le energie rinnovabili. Invece per l'eolico vedo che vanno meglio, ma per il fotovoltaico che abbiamo noi per fare l'autoconsumo non ce la facciamo.
Okay, so he said that in Serbia, unfortunately, they are facing great difficulties when it comes to renewable energies, solar renewable energies. Wind energy is another book. It seems they are more ready for that. Grazie mille. Applauso. Jose Rant from Aircash. We know that we have talked about the digital euro, but we also know that the European Commission and the ECB are looking for a more independent and sovereign payment system, let's say European credit cards. So it is another challenging for you.
Yeah, it's a challenge, but it's also an opportunity. So I would say, of course, we have a MasterCard license. So our MasterCard license is a product that offers an additional use case to our customers. And if this kind of initiatives appear, we always welcome this because this can only bring additional value to our customers if this is properly done. So we really have to take a look what our customers want because they ask themselves, does the payment work? Is it quick? How much it costs? Is it safe? For us, let's wait for the customer, for the market to decide, because also this kind of initiative will be successful only if it addresses the customer needs and the customer then really uses it. And we also expect to work together with all participants on the market.
Thanks very much for your contribution. Carlo Catone, General Manager of Catone Group. The question is, are you experiencing a shortage of workforce? And I'm referring to professional drivers and refrigeration technicians, which is a very important issue in your business.
Yes, this is a real problem, but at the moment is under control. The average year, the main issue is that the average year of our truck drivers is around 55 years old. And it's so difficult to find young people that want to do this job. For Catone Group, it's important the strong presence of family in our work because we stay close to our employee. And at the moment, we invest so much in automation because it's so difficult to find people that want to work at minus 30 degrees. And at the moment, we invest so much in electromechanical engineering and in training.
Thanks very much, Carlo Catone, for your contribution. Milan Starcevic, I know that your company recently adopted a financial solution, a 4 million 7-year mini bond with the support of Intesa Sanpaolo. Could you please tell us something more about this financial solution?
So this was innovative and very fast and very easy way to get the capital thanks to Intesa. And I was very satisfied with this. And we use it to develop some acquisition in Italy. And of course, we are investing as other company also in solar energy. We are very close to the point where we will switch off from the Enel in Serbia. It's EPS. We are producing about 700 kilowatts, and we will storage this energy, and probably we will switch off completely from this energy supplying. So I think this is a kind of innovation which for manufacturer is very positive.
Thank you so much, Mr. Milan Starcevic. Last question. We are really on time. Bojan Jeroncic, I'm very, very sorry. I'm very, very sorry for that. I know that you produce, we know now that you
prefer food, not prefer the spectacles. And you
no, well, I have it.
the name. So this is
Your name is simpler than your friend. Anyway, you do not only produce chocolate and ice cream, but also machines to produce those stuff. Is that correct?
Yeah, we are quite strongly vertically integrated. So we bought in 23 a small garage company to make the machines. Before they were producing small part for us, but now they are producing 50%. We are doing also the mills for chocolate beans and the mill and also the freezers for ice cream. So 50% of the business comes to the group, which is important because they are supporting us with innovations and everything. So in joke, some days, because we have in hand our technology, we say that almost from water we can do our good ice cream. And on the other side, we integrated in the last time also 2 other companies because of the crisis of raw materials, because a lot of coming from stock market. You know, we implemented also the raw material company who is bringing the cacao beans and so on from the origin markets. And in the last months, we also integrated the company in Croatia who is producing the multipacks, so the packaging. So we have quite strong now integration, and we can have all the process under control.
How's the price of cocoa now?
Now it's quite normal. It was quite high, and
so high profits for you.
You know, the customers are always pushing on the price, but it's still a little bit higher than it was before the crisis. So
thank you so much for
you.
your. I will ask Marta Testi to sum up our conversation.
Not easy because
Not
we're speaking
not
about
easy.
5 companies, 4 countries, and 5 super different businesses. What I would like to share in these few minutes is maybe one concept from each of them. About Agro Italy, what let me say really was clear to me was the power of the supply chain. Because if the company decided to move and to establish a business in Serbia was thanks to the prime of the supply chain and Ferrero. And this is something that sometimes is not enough pushed because the quality required in some supply chains can really unlock potential for companies all around Europe, at least, which is our main market. About AgriCash, what really was repeated several times was the client focus, and on top of that, the possibility to transform challenges into opportunity, because we're speaking about a fintech born and established in Croatia that is now facing an important change at regulatory basis on the digital euro. So it's really great to see how this, let me say, structural changes can really be opportunities also for smaller companies, or not the so common tech company that we used to listen from the other side of the ocean.
They have to be fast.
Absolutely. Fast and also agile.
Resilient,
so this is
as we say.
Another important point. About Catone, the last point that is the human capital element, because clearly companies and enterprises are there in order to grow, in order to make profit, in order to be international, but then at the end of the day, each growth plan is based on people, and in some businesses, people are, let me say, the key element and the game changer of the activity. And so we always need to have this in mind, because it's one of the biggest costs for all of our companies, but it's also the biggest value that we can have. Jumping to the Opta. Let me say, the last point mentioned about the possibility to leverage on financial tools and innovative financial tools like mini bonds and issue of corporate bonds is confirming the flexibility and agility that was mentioned at the beginning. And so based in Serbia, the habit to be challenged and to be in a context that was not easy is also, let me say, allowing them to really capture and grab all the opportunities that not only the market but also the financial system is giving to them. And last but not least, jump into income, and so the sweetest company in this panel, because we are speaking about ice cream and chocolate. You started your comments with the courage, the vision, and the ownership in what you described is your founder and owner. And the fact that you are transforming your business also from making ice cream and chocolate to make machines is also an additional element of this. And so no limits. And having said that, I think that this panel has shown a great potential for the area and for the 4 countries that we have seen. Thank you very much.
So, dear friends, good luck. Thank you for joining your experience. We will meet later at the end of this ceremony. So it's time for the second panel. Let me check. Okay, it's time for the second panel. It's my pleasure to introduce you Andrea Serusi from Italcostruzioni Albania. Here you see all the characteristics of this company chosen by Banca Intesa. Ladislav Ambrovic, CEO of Minit Slovakia. We are in the food and beverage sector. Daniel Maratz, CEO of Prolan from Hungary. Prolan is a company involved in railways business. Loredana Dora, board member of Record Romania. And we have, sorry, I think I missed one guest. There is a problem. Okay, Salchev, it's a company coming from Egypt. Sabrina Attoresi, Group Treasury and Finance Manager. Okay, so let's start from Minit Slovakia. Ladislav Ambrovic, which is the CEO, the company was founded in 1991 as a small family bakery, and today is one of the most modern industrial bakery in Central Europe with 450 franchise bakery outlets. It has 1,000 employees. Congratulations. So you have a similar story with our friend from the chocolate sector, from the ice cream, because you started producing bread in the cellar of your family home. It's like a startup, but you are dealing with the most traditional product in the world, in the history, which is bread. So what does that mean for you, bread, personally? And what does it take to build a successful business with such a traditional product?
Well, first and foremost, I would say that bread is something that is a very classic food item that is everybody in every home. I assume that every one of you has a loaf of bread right now at home. So it's a product that everybody has an emotional relationship with. And so it's very easy to sell. It's very easy to market. Regarding your question about our jump from the basement of a family company to 2 factories, our big moment was 30 years ago approximately, when we realized that the trend of bakery business is going from fresh bakery to frozen bakery. And to be a bit funny, the illusion of fresh bread comes from frozen bakery right now. Right now, when you go to a supermarket, 90% of the bakery products is delivered in frozen state, and then they bake it, and we all buy it and take home. So we realized this. Everybody in the food sector or in the bakery sector thought that we are crazy, and then we proved that they were wrong. So basically, that was it.
Thanks very much. Quite in time, quite in time.
1 minute 30 seconds left, so I can talk more if you want.
Thanks very much. Our friends will appreciate. Andrea Serusi, lei è il General Manager di Ital Costruzioni, che è un'azienda di costruzioni basata in Albania, specializzata in lavori industriali e carpenteria pesante. Che cosa significa per lei e per la sua azienda l'Albania come paese? What does it mean for you and for your company, Albania as a country?
20 anni fa, arrivato in Albania, ho rivisto l'Italia del dopoguerra, quella che non ho mai vissuto, ma che ho sempre sentito raccontare dai miei genitori. Mi ha ricordato l'Italia degli anni 60, un paese dove entusiasmo, lavoro e sacrificio potevano ancora cambiare il futuro. Quella sensazione mi ha dato il coraggio di scommettere in Albania. Io e mia moglie Ornella siamo partiti praticamente da zero, non avevamo nulla, abbiamo investito ogni centesimo e reinvestito nell'azienda, convinti che con il lavoro, il sacrificio e la serietà potessero costruire qualcosa di importante. E così è stato. Anno dopo anno siamo cresciuti, quasi senza accorgerci, e oggi ci troviamo qua a ricevere questo premio.
Grazie mille. So, he said that when he arrived in Albania 20 years ago, the situation was similar to Italy in the post-Second World War. And so they started their company from the scratch, investing any penny they had, and today, since then, they had a great growth, and they are very happy to be here to receive this prize, this award. We switch we go from Albania to Hungary. Daniel Mraz, CEO of Prolan. Prolan, it's a company that provides innovative solutions and hardware for railways and energy management. Your markets are Hungary, Germany, and Czech Republic. You are almost all engineers, is that correct?
Yes.
Great. So, are you experiencing artificial intelligence solutions? And if so, where do you see the greatest potential of this disruptive technology?
I was thinking to answer you, no, we don't deal with artificial intelligence. To shock a little bit the audience. But of course we use it.
You have to.
We have to. Everyone has to. And it clearly showed us the added value it offers. We have 5 different models in use in the company. And we have also a proprietary developed in-house language model used offline in tests yet. But the reason I would say that we don't use it is that imagine you mentioned that we have products for the railway. We have safety critical products. Would anyone in this room travel by a train,
No, definitely.
160 kilometers per hour, 200 kilometers per hour, where the safety is guaranteed by the best AI system ever? Would anyone take this train?
Elon Musk. Probably.
Maybe someone.
Probably.
But I would say that the most of the people not yet. And the reason for that is that the artificial intelligence is not deterministic. And the basis of railway safety, or safety in general, is to have a deterministic model where you can bit by bit, step by step, guarantee the outcome. In our developments, we have external auditors which examine the plans or the design we are going to implement, and they also examine what we have implemented. So it's strictly under control. And using artificial intelligence is an exciting tool, but cannot replace incumbent systems.
Thank you so much. So, we saved 1 minute for the following question. We switch from Hungary and we go to Egypt. Are we going to speak Italian or in English? Great. Sabrina Torresi, which is the group, she's the group treasury and finance manager of Salchef, which is a construction company focused on infrastructure and railways, not controlling system, but trucks. Yes. And you are working on a very, very important project, high-speed train in Egypt, which is the Alexandria-Marsa Matruh high-speed rail project. What does it mean for you, and what is it?
We have been operating in Egypt from 2011, so we have experience in working in Egypt. But now we are involved in this project that is the line, the works is about the truck line between Alexandria and Marsa Matruh. That is a part of the Green Line that will link the Mediterranean and the Red Sea. And the Green Line is a part of a GRIT project, Egypt project, that consists in 2,000 kilometers of high-speed railway that link all the cities, the major cities of Egypt, and improve the passengers and train transport. For us, is a big project, and we can. Our goal is to bring our expertise, our experience, and reliability in this project. For us, is also something that permit us to strengthen our presence in Egypt, and we hope to also to obtain in the future other contracts. We have to think that this project is the sixth largest high-speed railway system in the world. So it's a very
it's a tough project.
Yes. So we are very proud to participate in this project and to contribute with our Italian expertise in Egypt.
Thanks very much, Sabrina Attornesi. So we go directly to Romania. Record, Loredana Bora, board member. Record is a company that produces shoes, more particularly outdoor shoes, and is leader in Europe in this production. 1 million pair of shoes produced every year, 3 plants with 700 employees. Allora, signora Dora, negli ultimi 20 anni molte aziende hanno delocalizzato in Asia attratte da un basso costo del lavoro, ma voi avete deciso di rimanere in Romania, perché in the last 20 years many companies decided to switch, to move to Asia, attracted by a lower labor cost. But you decided to remain in Romania. Why?
Ma essenzialmente, prima di tutto dobbiamo dire la tipologia di prodotto su cui noi ci concentriamo. Noi sostanzialmente siamo un'azienda produttrice calzaturiera incentrata su una tecnologia montato, quindi rispetto alla tecnologia iniettato noi facciamo un processo di produzione ancora altamente artigianale, e quindi ci collochiamo, diciamo, su produzioni di medio-alto fino a altissimo livello. Facciamo principalmente scarpe da trekking, ma anche scarpe ad esempio antinfortunistiche, ma ad elevatissime prestazioni, come ad esempio le scarpe per gli arboristi, tipo scarpe antisega, scarpe antitaglio. Produciamo scarponcini per competizioni di sport motoristici, anche per competizioni di livello globale, quindi essenzialmente il nostro posizionamento in un segmento di elevatissima qualità e prestazioni ci ha spinto, diciamo, a continuare ad investire in Romania, e crediamo che questo target diciamo, di produzione ci abbia consentito di ci distingue, diciamo, rispetto alle produzioni europee, ma continua a distinguerci rispetto comunque alla competizione asiatica.
Do you mind if I translate? So, she said that they have a different way of producing shoes in the high sector. Those shoes are designed for trekking, for lumberjack, for racing as well, and so that's why they decided to stay in Romania, and they have different targets from other shoes companies in Europe.
E con la crescita dell'azienda siamo riusciti comunque anche a raggiungere elevati livelli comunque di produttività e siamo riusciti a sviluppare comunque dei reparti di modelleria interna che ci consentono comunque di collocarci come veri e propri partner per i nostri clienti, quindi sostanzialmente riusciamo ad affiancarli in tutto ciò che è il processo di ingegnerizzazione del prodotto e anche del processo produttivo, quindi non solo meri fornitori ma anche fonte di innovazione a fianco dei nostri clienti per lo sviluppo sempre di prodotti più performanti e più belli.
So she said that they managed to reach high level of productivity in their factories, and so when they face with their customers, they are not only partners, but not only suppliers, but they are partners, especially when it comes to innovation issues. So I think we have completed the first round. We have a second round. The second round is, I remind you that you have, unfortunately, only 1 minute. So Ladislav Ambrovic, your company recently have introduced in your country something which belonged to us, which is pinza, the Roman bread. So apart from that, the traditional Roman flatbread, how important is innovation and, coming back to pinza, inspiration from different food cultures and experiences?
I mean, pinza is still Italian, so we just landed the idea from Italy, and thank you very much for that. Your gastronomy is wonderful. I mean, innovation is bread and butter for a small company, relatively small company than us. We grow thanks to innovation because we are faster and quicker than our competition. And this is the basic of our existence. And it's not only product development, it's just one small part. The second big part is operational excellence, or making our operations like baking more cost-effective, understanding that how can one full-time employee produce more bread at a higher capacity. So this is one big part of the innovation. And the third is, of course, innovate on how to get to new markets, how to get to new customers, have to sell more bread to the customers, maybe sometimes to Italy as well. Regarding the second part of the question, the product innovation, that's the sexiest thing in our business, in bakery business. So there are two big trends right now. One is everything that's healthy, it can be sourdough, protein, everything. That's one big part. And the second is everything that is snacking, that is not healthy but feels good. That's very chocolate, that is very sweet or salty. So these are the big two trends that we are following, and we are lending ideas from Italy, from Germany, from France, and from all the kitchens that are interesting. For example, we have teriyaki pinza right now.
Teriyaki?
So, teriyaki pinza, yeah.
Teriyaki pinza?
Yeah, teriyaki pinza.
Do not import in Rome, please.
Southeast Asia.
Do not do that.
It tastes good, yeah. If Lidl likes it, I think sometimes it might arrive to Italy as well. So, yeah.
Thank you so much. Andrea Serusi, la domanda è secca. L'Albania è pronta, gli imprenditori albanesi, l'ambiente imprenditoriale albanese è pronta per l'Unione Europea, per aderire all'Unione Europea? Is Albania ready to join EU?
Diciamo che sono convinto che come la nostra azienda, se in 20 anni è riuscita a crescere così tanto, anche l'Albania è cresciuta in questi 20 anni moltissimo, e sono convinto che porterà solo benefici l'entrata nella comunità europea nel 2030.
So he's confident that once Albania will join the European Union in 2030, this will be a great benefit for the whole economy, because Albania has grown so much in the latest 20 years. Grazie mille. Now we go back to Hungary. Prolan, I owe you 1 minute for a question regarding the stability of electric grids, which is something you are working on, and which is something that it is very important in these nowadays that we are using, as the Spanish case teaches, renewable energies. What do you do?
You raised a very complex question, but I have you a very simple answer.
You have 2 minutes, because it's complicated.
58 seconds.
Not worry, 2 minutes.
20%, that's my answer. 20%.
Okay.
Because that's the problem itself. When the electric grids all around Europe or the world were constructed, there was an assumption or even a calculation at the background that the capacity sold in a street to each and every household, aggregated, maximum 20% of all that will be used in one time, parallelly. So they made the cable in the street accordingly, and it worked. It worked a century long. And then households began to use more and more electricity. Even more, they start to use electric vehicle, which they began to charge when they came home, in the more or less in the same time, and that gave a huge kick to the whole electric grid. Not going into details that they installed solar panels, which they wanted to feed in, made the whole thing more problematic. You have two solutions for that problem. One is that you install an even wider, bigger cable in every street, everywhere. That's obviously not a reasonable solution. The other way is that you use some kind of automation technology to firstly to understand what happens in the household, at the consumer, and to interact in one reasonable, mutually acceptable way. And we deliver to the distribution system operators devices which communicate the consumption and also let the consumers, or better said, the batteries, the electric car chargers, the boilers, the air conditioning inverters, whatever, control in a way that is still convenient and comfortable and economically acceptable for the household. That's what we do.
Thanks very much. It's a very important and tough job. Sabrina Attonesi, you just described this big project you are involved, Alexandria Marsa-Matruh high-speed railway project, but I know that you are dealing with another very important task in Egypt. Could you please describe it?
Yes. In 2025, we strengthened our presence in Egypt with a strategic relationship with ENR, Egyptian National Railway, that is responsible for the railway system in Egypt. And we placed a company with the name Sachef Track. With this company, we are signed a contract for the renewal of 300 kilometers of track, and we are now signing contract for the maintenance of at least 100 kilometers of rail for over 25 years. So it's a big project for us because this means that we remain here for other at least 25 years in Egypt, and this is very proud for us.
Thank you so much for your contribution. Loredana Dora from Record Shoemaker. Allora, abbiamo detto la Romania era conosciuta per una base manifatturiera a basso costo, però voi siete riusciti, la vostra azienda è riuscita a far diventare appunto l'azienda competitiva soprattutto per l'alta qualità. Qual è stato il punto di svolta? Which was the turning point switching from a low-cost company based in Romania to a company with a high level of production, high level of quality production?
Più che di punto di svolta, parlerei di resilienza e grandissimo impegno in 30 anni di presenza in Romania. E, diciamo, la sfida maggiore che credo siamo riusciti a superare con successo è proprio quella di aver esportato una mentalità, una capacità comunque e un investimento continuo nelle persone. Oggi in record tutte le persone più qualificate nel settore si chiamano le maestre orlatrici, piuttosto che tutti coloro i quali sono, diciamo, coinvolti nel processo produttivo ad altissimi livelli sono persone comunque rumene e che quindi non fungono più da mera manodopera di basso livello, ma sono persone altamente qualificate e che contribuiscono ogni giorno a trovare quell'innovazione nel processo e nella prototipazione dei prodotti e quindi a contribuire, diciamo, a tutti gli effetti allo sviluppo dei prodotti.
Lei quando diceva esportare la mentalità, nel senso la mentalità italiana dei lavoratori?
La mentalità, ma anche la competenza, nel senso che Record, diciamo,
manifatturiero
trova
italiano.
Radici nel distretto industriale, comunque nel Montebellunese, e quindi, diciamo, a tutti gli effetti oggi il distretto, diciamo, c'è un distretto industriale delle competenze specifiche che sono molto radicate nel territorio.
So the company Record has roots in Italian Montebelluna district, which is well known for the shoes, and so all the people, all the workforce in Romania are particularly skilled in that job, and they contribute to find innovation solutions in the process of making shoes. It's a hard job, but somebody has to do it. You have to sum up all what we
let me
said.
say it's even harder compared to the previous panel because we are speaking about 5 companies from 5 countries and one is Egypt, and so out of the let me say the European Union. And so I will use the same mechanism that I used in the first panel.
Good job.
Thank you. And so on Minint, and so making 100 million of revenues for bread is not easy. And so the words that are remaining in my mind are innovation and operational excellence. And the fact that small companies need to be faster, because agility is not something that is a nice to have, is a must, no, for companies that need to to compete with bigger companies. And so super well done. I'm so happy also to taste your bread, because I'm an ice cream and chocolate lover, but also bread, unfortunately, is one of my best dream. About Italcostruzioni, first of all, I would like to ask an applause for Ornella, the wife of this man. And I know that she's here.
A great support.
Absolutely. Because
behind a great man, there is always a great woman.
I always think that, again, but can also be the other way around, because we
sure.
are always thinking that.
We are.
So, but trust in the company and invest and reinvest in the company is not something obvious in the construction business. And I really hope to welcome Albania soon in EU, because I think that there will be a lot to do on that. On Prolan, we are just jumping on completely another sector, and what is remaining in my mind, it's about, let me say, what was shared about AI, and so the fact that are human beings that are managing AI and not the other way around. And so happy that you are using AI, but not so heavily, because we want to jump on a train and be in a safe environment. And I will remind the 20%, so the number that you shared, because it's clear that when all the infrastructure has been established, the usage of energy by all of us was not, let me say, at the level of today. And so it's not easy to change the infrastructure. And so we need to have companies like you in order to make the usage of information and data even better in order to do it. On Salcef, Italian proud, because having an Italian company is managing a so huge, and so the sixth biggest infrastructure project is not, let me say, is not happening every day. And you are not only, let me say, making business, but I think that you are transforming the society, because you are connecting super, let me say, far away cities and people. And so this is a mission more than a company. And so super happy that you are among the Imprese Vincenti, because I think it's a great name for us. And last but not least, the long-term investment. And so speaking about making shoes and continue with nearshoring, investing in a country while all the others are going so far away is not easy. It's a tough decision, but investing on people, mindset, and training, as I mentioned also at the end of the first panel, is the best way to make sustainable your business, because business is made of people. And so thank you very much all.
Thank you so much. Please take your seat in the room, because we have a couple of speakers before starting the presentation. It's my pleasure to introduce you Paola Papanicolaou, Chief of International Banks Division of Intesa Sanpaolo. So, first of all, what does it mean, this project, for you, and what can you tell us about the 10 companies? You heard so many stories, so many interesting stories in different countries.
So good afternoon, first of all. Well, I think only one word, which means privilege. I think that by listening to all of the stories and the presentations of our clients, I feel that we are privileged and honored to be able to sustain so interesting and successful companies, which honestly is the dream of every bank. To be able to act as a platform, sustaining not only financially, but also, with the advisory, with the expertise, with the relations, with the competencies, I think it's something that it's extremely important, because listening to the stories and to all of the connections, we had a very big diversification of companies, industries, stories, from something that is very specific to something that is exactly the infrastructure, for example, from sweets to shoes. So Marta, by the way, we can eat the sweets and then use the shoes for running, right? So I think it is extremely important and a privilege for a group like ours that is international, and that in our mission is the support of, at the end of the day, the financial well-being of our clients. And entrepreneurs and companies sustain that.
Thank you. So we know, reading newspapers, listening to what the EU bodies in Brussels are telling every day, that Europe needs stronger industrial champions. So my question is, what are the values and the capabilities that your bank, Intesa Sanpaolo, can share with companies like the one we heard, that are investing, exporting and building growth, and not only in their single domestic markets, but all around our single market that, as Mario Draghi and Enrico Letta said, we need it bigger.
Well, I think that we heard before, the evolution of the market, especially in the last years, has been exponential. I think that the example we were listening before on the 20% on the energy consumption is really significant. In this context, Europe has a very different history compared to other markets. So very often we hear that the competitiveness of Europe is under discussion.
Under threat.
Under threat, exactly. When we look at the technology, that is a huge enabler. We were talking before about AI. Well, it's true, we are not the number one region of technological companies, not at that scale. But what I think that Europe has is a very strong entrepreneurial spirit, very big resilience, and I think that in all of these stories we heard that. And I believe that banks like us, groups like us, that have a strong Italian presence, but also a historical and pretty diversified international presence, because we go from Egypt exactly to certain Central Eastern Europe, but then we have also 25 offices around the globe. Let's not forget that. Today we are representing here our commercial banks. We have 11 banks in 12 countries, but we also have a footprint through our representatives' offices all around the globe to support also the exportation of and the support, and let's say, of our clients also in other continents. So coming back to Europe, I think that the difference that we can make is exactly, and we as a group and as a bank, is to support on the long term the entrepreneurial spirit. I was mentioning before, we see ourselves as a platform. What do I mean by platform? I'm not talking about technological platform. Of course, we also need to have very strong technological solutions. But what I mean is we are an aggregator of services. So from the obvious financial services and the capital we are able to provide to our clients, we add other services, other solutions. So for instance, with Marta Testi, we have launched the Elite program. It's an innovative service. It's supporting our companies to grow, their management to grow through a process, what we call a master for companies. We heard before the mini bonds. It's introducing blended finance. It's supporting companies to reach out to the market for a different way of financing their projects. So it is also, if you allow me, a new way of resilience. It's also a new way of going through what we call advisory in a more innovative, we spoke about innovation, innovative approach in banking. So within that platform, what do we provide? Capitals, experience, knowledge, cross-country services, innovative solutions, and advisory. I think this is the mission of a financial group like ours, that at the end of the day, I think that what we all want, there is a strong principle in banking. Our interest is our clients' best interest. The more our clients grow, the more their companies grow and become resilient, the better it is. So this is what we want to provide. It's not a single product. It's the long journey on how we can provide the best support for our clients, for our enterprises, and our private individuals to grow in time.
So practically, how can you, let me say, translate your international presence you just mentioned into industrial capacity, support for businesses, and long-term development for local economies?
I think that the first thing is synergies. What we can provide is, as we said, a very wide international footprint, either through commercial banks or through representatives' office. We can put in place a very strong expertise in products and services. We mentioned before the initiative with Elite. We mentioned the mini bonds, but we can support companies in many other initiatives. It's obvious that we can also support companies to get listed. We can support companies to develop new offices outside their specific country. We heard all of the companies that were here before, most of them are either operating in new markets or bringing in some experiences from other markets and so on. I think this is one of the strongest things we can do, but I think the difference in the approach that we have is that we look at sustainability in the long run. And I think it's something to mention because the beauty and the mission of Intesa Sanpaolo Group is not, sorry, let me be a little bit direct, not to meet our budget of 1 year. It's the long term, the investment of doing a project like this, and let me praise Anna Roscio and all of the colleagues from Banca dei Territori of Imprese Vincenti, is a clear example of how we want to be supportive and financial partners of our companies in a wider approach and model. So also, of course, in becoming, what are we awarding today? We are awarding sustainability, innovation, resilience, and so on. So I think that this is really the base of our mission, and the fact that we cooperate so widely also within our group within all of the divisions, from Banca dei Territori, that is our Italian, let's say, part of retail and corporate banking, from the corporate and investment banking, from a product size, and from also, of course, our part with the international banks. I think this completes what we were saying before, an integrated platform of people and services to support growth locally or globally of all of our clients.
So we have 1 minute and 20 seconds just now. My final question is, we need a bigger, stronger Europe, no doubt. Some countries will probably join the bloc in the following years, Albania, probably Serbia. So what kind of challenge is this process for you?
You know, for the banks, paradoxically, it's not a challenge, it's easier, because having unique regulation, unique approach, and let's say a wider, also having one unique central bank that coordinates the rest of the central banks, financial policies, etc., it's easier. But I don't think this is the real point. I think the real point is this of any support of the companies or not? I believe that independently of the enlargement of Europe, that I think is significant from other points of view, more political, let me say, I think from a financial market point of view, the point is the fact of having an international group that has anyway similar offering and similar technologies and solutions across different countries is by default an enabler of a more integrated and international business. So I think it's not mandatory. I think that it is something that we all wish, but I also think it is important that it happens compatibly with every single nation's special situations within that precise moment.
Thank you so much, Paolo Papanicolaou. Please stay here and stand up with me. I ask Anna Roscio and Giuseppe Ferraro to join Paola Papanicolaou, and I know we have a video. Dov'è l'ordine alfabetico? So I would say now the winner is, but we have 10 winners. So let me start with Agro Italy from Serbia. Would you please, the representative? Then Air Cash. Sorry, it's time for a picture. Air Cash from Croatia. Katone from Hungary. Diopta from Serbia. Income from Slovenia. Metal Costruzioni from Albania. Minit from Slovakia. Prolan from Hungary. Record from Romania. Last but not least, finally, Salchev from Egypt. Now, would you please reach the center of the stage for a picture, for a photo? So, ladies and gentlemen, the event is over. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to all of the people from home who joined via streaming. Thank you to the entrepreneurs. And what can we say? Probably we see for the next edition. Thank you so much.